Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. My name's Karan, and I've corresponded with many of you, and we are very excited to have you next week. The point of today's webinar will be to briefly introduce you to YSA, the Festival of Children, and what the National Child Awareness Month program is about, so give you an overview about that. And then we will go into the schedule of the training, what that looks like, what sessions we will have, who will be at what events, go into travel logistics both for your arrival and departure into DC, as well as training logistics and what expectations we have when you come in and kind of the overall ebb and flow of the event. And then, like Amanda said earlier, we'll close with a Q&A at the end.
Great. So just a brief overview. You probably are all very familiar with these three logos. So to start on the right-hand side, a little bit about YSA. Our focus and mission is improving the communities by increasing the number of young people ages 5 to 25 serving in their communities in substantive roles. So we engage thousands of kids each year and encourage them to get involved in their community and tackle really big issues. And I think that's what we're most excited about is having youth ages 5 to 25 tackling a lot of big global issues going on. Moving over to the bottom left-hand corner, we are partnered with Festival of Children, who is focused on improving the lives of children. They do this through their foundation and various programs that they run. The newest one being this ambassador program that launches with the training that you'll all be attending next week and then carries on throughout the year to YSA's biggest global event. Through Festival of Children, they launched the National Child Awareness Month. And so it's really drawing focus and attention to having that attention to 1 month. It's a bill that's been passed through Congress and really brings together everyone's attention to make sure that we're encouraging kids and adults to engage in improving the lives of children.
Universal. Go ahead. Okay, in regards to our schedule, when you arrive in DC, all of you will be flying in or taking the train into the city, and I think all of you will get in here by 3 p.m. And so our first session will start at 4, and that'll be an introduction to the program and National Child Awareness Month by Steve Culbertson, the YSA CEO and president, as well as Sandy Daniels, who is the founder of the Festival of Children Foundation. After that, we will have a time where you all can get to know each other, go into dinner, and then do a walking tour and go around the area of the White House for the evening. And so that will be the end of that day. And then Wednesday is kind of where we hit the ground running. That day is divided up into a couple different pieces. The training has 3 major focuses, and the first part is storytelling and learning how to tell the story of your project, your issue area, why are you passionate about it, and we'll be hearing stories of people who work on issues of child awareness, as well as you'll be given an opportunity to practice your spiel and how you engage with others, whether they are elected officials or just bringing your peers on board for the respective programs that you all are working on. The second part of the day will be more geared towards youth advocacy, and so we'll be doing a training on youth advocacy. What is the role of advocacy in policymaking, and what you all can do with the projects that you're working on. After that, we will, as you can see on the PowerPoint, go to Capitol Hill, and we'll do a fun little photo shoot of all of you together, which should be a lot of fun on the steps of the Capitol, and then go into a Hill event that evening, and that's essentially a celebration with you all. You may have already heard about this from some of the pre-training work, but we have invited all of the U.S. senators as well as the representatives from your specific districts to come to this event with hopes that this can be a time where you can meet them or people on their staff as well as different people from organizations in the city that work on issues of child awareness. So that is very much one of the climaxes of the training. And then we'll come back to the hotel, have a couple things going on there. And then the last day, on Thursday, we'll be doing a leadership development exercise in the morning and then conclude with a training session in regards to next steps, both takeaways from the training as well as what does the year ahead of you all look like as ambassadors and what our expectations are as well as what dreams and ambitions and desires you all have for the year. And the entire training concludes at 1 p.m. So that's when people will start flying back to their homes.
All right, so I'm going to go through some of the travel logistics as you're arriving. All of you will receive in an email at the end of this week most of this detailed information that I'm going to go over, but just want to cover this and make sure that you guys are able to ask any questions that you may have. So in the email, you're going to receive contact information, cell phone numbers for myself, Karan, and Helene Sims, who some of you may have been working with to set up your travel arrangement. So all three of us will be available in case you do have any emergencies that come up while you're traveling. When you do arrive to your train station or to your airport, you're going to be greeted by one of the YSA staff members. The staff member will have on a white YSA polo with our logo on it to be able to recognize us. And then you will be escorted to Super Shuttle or cabs to get to the hotel. We're staying at the Capitol Hilton in downtown D.C. It's a great location. When you get to the hotel, you'll be greeted by more YSA staff also wearing the polos. You'll be able to drop off your bags and kind of relax for a little bit. As Karan mentioned, we have some different ambassadors getting in at different times. So if you do arrive early, you'll be kind of hanging out with a small group, and you'll be able to grab some food if need be, or get some work done if also needed. Let's see here. The program in the evening starts at 4 o'clock, I believe. So before then, Helene will also be going through check-ins for your rooms. So each of the ambassadors is sharing a room with another same-gender ambassador. Each ambassador will receive a room key, and we'll also have backups if needed. Then on the flip side, so after the training has taken place, Thursday afternoon, all of the ambassadors will be escorted by YSA staff back to airport train station and taken up to pretty much the closest exit point. So making sure that they get to their exit terminals and through security, or if at a train station that they're in the right line to get and board onto their train. So that covers most of the sort of logistics around travel. The one key point that we wanted to make is that YSA will not cover any baggage fees. So try to pack as lightly as possible. We encourage you, since you are just here for three days, we encourage you to pack light and just take a carry-on so that you won't have to incur any baggage fees for yourself. In terms of other fees, once you're here in D.C., we'll cover all of your local transportation. As I mentioned, we have different shuttles set up to get you to and from the airport or train station. When we're getting around D.C., when we go to the Hill event, we have all of that transportation taken care of, and we'll always be escorted by YSA staff. If there are any other costs that you incur outside of that, you will need to cover that. So we have all of the meals, all of the transportation taken care of. So any other, sort of small snacks, if you want to grab a magazine, those kind of things, all of those costs will fall to you. All right, and we're going to cover some training logistics.
Okay. To begin with, we will be sending out a brief packing list, but dress code for the entire event is business casual, with the exception of the Hill event, where we would like everyone to be dressed in business. And we have a lovely little image on the side screen which shows you some good pictures and is a range of business and business casual.
And I think sort of a good rule of thumb, most of these pictures for all of the gentlemen look really nice and a good fit. I think for the ladies, I would just say if you are going to wear a skirt, please just make sure that it's at the knee level, if not longer. So we just want to make sure that we're kind of sticking to the dress code and dressing for success. So I wanted to cover some expectations, and most of this information will sound familiar since you all send over the consent forms in your application. So we're asking that for all scheduled activities, you be punctual and on time. We're going to ask that all the ambassadors refrain from leaving the location of the training or the event. There will be no alcoholic beverages, tobacco, or firearms during the training. We'll ask that everyone recognize each other's rights and respect, sort of a good level of noise, this language and conduct in general. Also, just respecting each other's property. And we'll also ask that everyone refrain from using vehicles for personal reasons while at the training. As I mentioned before, each of the ambassadors will be sharing a room with another same-gender ambassador. We're going to be putting in place a lights out. So at 10 o'clock each night, we're going to have staff going around and making sure that everyone's in their hotel rooms for the evening at 10 p.m. and ask them to stay in their rooms throughout the night. So those are just the brief expectations, and like I said, nothing that should be new to you. It's all covered as a code of conduct in the consent form. The next thing I wanted to cover was YSA staffing. So we have a great staff here at YSA that's really excited about the training, and you guys will get to meet them throughout the training. We have different folks coming in and out during different sessions to either participate, listen to what you guys have to say, and just engage with you throughout the whole time. So while you are at the hotel, we'll always have YSA staff available. Whenever you guys are leaving the hotel, we're going to be putting into place a 5-to-1 ratio to make sure that we have plenty of staff members available and with all the ambassadors while we're out traveling throughout DC. Our staff will, like I said, be able to answer any questions that you guys have, engage with you. They're going to be prepped with all the same information that Karan and I have been putting together and sharing with all of you. So they'll be happy to help.
As I mentioned earlier, the Hill event gave a little bit of detail into that. But in regards to that, my reminder would be we've asked in the pre-training work for you all to write your senators and representatives. After touching base with many of them, they are really eager and excited to hear from you, and they may have even contacted you. I know I had seen a couple emails back and forth, and if that is the case and you are in DC by chance before or after our training, we would love for you to meet with them at their office at a specific time. But in regards to any meetings you plan, please plan that before 4 p.m. on Tuesday or after 1 p.m. on Thursday, because we have a PAX training and need you fully present. But once again, the hope is for them to be at the Hill event where you all will have a time to network together, as well as Steve and Sandy will be speaking again, and there'll be an opportunity for some of you to share bits of your story and why you are doing what you are doing in regards to National Child Awareness. And then lastly, the last point on this slide is any allergy or dietary needs. We've gone through all the medical forms and written down anything specific, but if there's anything at all that you haven't told us before, please let us know. If something has come up, if there's specific medication that we need to be made aware of, or a certain intolerance. Our Helene, who's been working with the hotel staff, would love to know so she can make the menu more accommodating if need be, as well as the same for the Hill event. We will have food there, and so the food can be made accommodating to your dietary needs.
Great. So as we're wrapping up, we kind of wanted to put together sort of a checklist of before you leave, make sure that you've done these various items. So the first thing is making sure that you've sent out the media release form that we sent over to you in the pre-training email. It's a great template that all you need to do is input your own personal information, your information about your project, and then get that sent out to your various media contacts. If you do have any questions about filling out the media release or making those contacts, please let us know. We're happy to help. We have a great communications staff that is also willing to help if needed. Secondly, as Karan mentioned, please make sure that you're sending out those personalized invitation letters to your senators and representatives. They are really excited to meet you guys, and I think this is just another great touch point that you can make that connection and start that relationship. Please make sure that you've just kind of gone through the other pre-training email tasks that were included. I believe joining the Youth Action Center, it's great to see most of you on there, and happy to start talking with you guys through that channel. Filling out the workshop exercise and emailing that to Karan, and filling out the pre-survey so we can be sure to collect all of those prior to the training. And the last two are just remembering to print out your ticket information, print out the email that has all of your confirmation email about your travel, and then as I mentioned, we'll have a follow-up logistics travel email sent out to you by the end of this week. So also print that out so you have that in your back pocket. It'll have our cell phone numbers on there so you guys can get in touch with us throughout your travels. And then be sure to pack your appropriate clothes for the training and for the event.
All right, we will now go into a time of questions. And so if you have any questions in regards to anything that was covered on the presentation, or just any other things that were not discussed in regards to the training and next week, feel free to type them into the chat box that Amanda mentioned earlier.
There's a question, should I bring materials in order to take notes? We will have a training packet for you, so we'll have plenty of paper and information for you to take notes and make sure that you're collecting all that great information that you're getting through the training. So we will have items provided for you, but if you have anything personally that you like to use, feel free. Another great question, will we meet the president? Unfortunately, I don't think you will, but I think we are going to swing by his residence. So maybe if he's out playing the lawn, we can get to meet him. We will have a copy of, we're recording this webinar right now, so we'll have a copy of this webinar that we'll send out to you guys. So if you did join late, you'll be able to catch up and cover, sort of hear all the information that we covered earlier on, or for anything that you missed.
In regards to the question, will you be able to meet your representatives and senators personally? That is the goal of the Hill event, that either the senator or representatives or their staffers will be there so you can meet. Like I said earlier, they have been talking to me about reaching out to you, in which case I've sent over your email address. if they have like a individual meeting time set up, but the goal of the Hill event is for you to meet them personally.
There was another great question about what shoes to pack, which is a great question because getting around DC sometimes does require you being on your feet. So we will do a little bit of walking around. We're going to try to plan a walking tour after the first evening, after the dinner on the first evening. So I would recommend packing comfortable shoes to walk around in. You know, as you're at the hotel for any of the training pieces, I would say whatever's comfortable, and then definitely, you know, business casual, dressy when we go to the Hill event. If you do have any questions about who to send the media release to, please contact us directly. Go ahead and email Karan, and that way we'll be able to help you with making those contacts, researching, you know, who are media in your area, or if we have contacts, we're happy to share those with you guys, and so that we can make sure your media release gets into the right hands of the right people.
There's a question in regards to what type of training will take place, and I'm not sure if I understand that. Could you clarify?
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I think from the question, what kind of training will take place, no, there is no test involved. It's just information for you to grow your project, grow the issue area or campaign that you're working on. And I guess to follow up from that, will there be follow-up seminars after our visit to DC? Yes, absolutely. We very much treat this as a one-year program, and so we see the training as kind of a launching point, and we will be constantly touching base and hoping to grow your capacity, sustainability, kind of all ideas in regards to your project, as well as there's leadership development built into it as well.
And so we will have ongoing webinars that will present different, you know, topics, issue areas. We'll have different presenters and experts on throughout the year, as Karan mentioned. But this will be the only chance that we are able to bring all the ambassadors to one place physically. And then we also have the Youth Action Center, which we're looking as a great place to network and, you know, share different ideas and information. Any last questions? Well, we're happy to hang here on the line for just a little bit longer. If there's any other follow-up questions or anything else that you need to ask us about, as always, you know, feel free to contact us if it does need to be more of a conversation around anything that you would like to ask. We will be sending out towards the end of the week, as I mentioned, this recorded webinar and the travel logistics email. So you'll get all of those great details. We look forward to seeing you guys, and thank you again so much for joining this evening's webinar.
Thank you.
Go ahead and feel free to log off if you'd like, or if there's any other questions, feel free to let us know. There's another question, the average age of the participants. It really is sort of all over the spectrum. The age range was 16 to 22. It actually got bumped up to 23, I think, and so we have had a wide range of ages. There isn't really an average or one age that's predominant.
And then in regards to, there was another question that came up, if a schedule will be sent to us, and yes, you will be receiving a schedule that has more details about the training.
And we'll also have copies provided for you in your training packets when you guys arrive on Tuesday. There's a question about volunteer opportunities in DC. Do you mean while you're here, you would like to volunteer, or just in general? Yeah, just in general, definitely. We're more than happy to help make some connections for you if you're looking for volunteer opportunities in DC. Feel free just to email Karan and we'll follow up with you. All right, we're going to go ahead and log off. Have a good night.